Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Weeks after resentencing, Julie Chrisley is back in Federal Bureau of Prisons custody, site states. According to the Federal Bureau of Prisons site, disgraced reality TV star Julie Chrisley is back in their custody. According to Chrisley, star Julie Chrisley is officially back at Federal Medical Center in Lexington, Kentucky as of Thursday, October 17, 2024. She was not in BOP custody for weeks due to her resentencing hearing in the tax evasion and bank fraud case that sent her and her husband, Chrisley Knows Best star Todd Chrisley, to prison. Since January 2023, Julie Chrisley has been an inmate at FMC Lexington for a few weeks, dating back to at least September 22, days before her resentencing hearing in Georgia. The prison site that tracks inmates had Julie Chrisley as not in BOP custody, rather than the FMC Lexington location. At that time, Julie Chrisley was in the custody of the U.S. Marshals Service. Here's what we know. Last month, a federal judge ordered Julie Chrisley to continue to serve her 7-year prison sentence, there for tax evasion and bank fraud. The 51-year-old matriarch of the Chrisleys, who became famous from the USA Network hit show Chrisley Knows Best, appeared in federal court in Atlanta on September 25 for a sentencing hearing 3 months after the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals found that the lower court miscalculated Chrisley's prison time, citing lack of evidence of her full involvement in the bank fraud scheme for which she and husband Todd Chrisley were sentenced. Before the resentencing hearing, a September 22 records check showed Julie Chrisley was not at FMC Lexington. The not in BOP custody status changed October 17, according to a Bureau of Prisons records search on the reality TV star. However, the BOP site has routinely listed a release date of April 22, 2028. The BOP site is a record locator for inmates and does not explain what not in BOP custody means. The site does note that a pretrial inmate may have been removed from custody by the U.S. Marshals Service and subsequently released by the court with no further notice to the BOP. Todd and Julie Chrisley's daughter, Savannah Chrisley, who attended the resentencing hearing in Atlanta, mentioned her mother in a September 25 WSB TV story. "She's okay. I think the transport process is a process that no one knows, and it's probably the most inhumane process, especially for women. There is no reason a woman should be transported with over 75 men and only be one of 4 women. There's just no reason that should be happening," Savannah Chrisley told Channel 2 Action News. "I spoke to her last night. I can't imagine what that process is for her. It's tough." The couple's son, Chase Chrisley, and the family attorney, Alex Little, also attended the Atlanta hearing, according to news reports. In June 2022, Todd and Julie Chrisley were found guilty of tax evasion and defrauding community banks out of more than $30 million in fraudulent loans. In January 2023, the Chrisleys traded their luxurious lifestyle for prison. While Julie Chrisley is serving time at FMC Lexington, the 56-year-old Todd Chrisley is serving time at FPC Pensacola, described on its site as a minimum security federal prison camp. The couple was sentenced to 7 and 12 years respectively. An October 17 check on the Federal Bureau of Prisons website shows Todd Chrisley will be released June 26, 2032, more than 2 years earlier than his original 12-year sentence. After 18 months, Julie Chrisley's prison sentence was thrown out when federal judges ruled her case had insufficient evidence, according to a June 25, 2024 story in USA Today. In June 2024, judges from the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals found that the judge in Julie Chrisley's 2022 trial miscalculated her sentence and did not find evidence proving her full involvement in the bank fraud scheme for which she was sentenced, according to documents obtained by USA Today. The Court of Appeals upheld Chrisley, her husband Todd Chrisley, and their accountant Peter Tarantino's convictions, but found the original trial judge miscalculated Julie Chrisley's sentence. She was held responsible for the entire fraud scheme, which began in 2006. Julie Chrisley's resentencing hearing occurred in a lower district court in downtown Atlanta on September 25, 2024. According to a court filing obtained by USA Today, U.S. District Judge Eleanor L. Ross upheld her 2022 ruling and gave justification for the sentence imposed. During the 50-minute hearing on September 25, Chrisley was sentenced to 84 months of incarceration, 5 years of supervised release, and more than $4.7 million, the total amount prosecutors said she obtained illegally, in restitution. An attorney for the Chrisleys had requested a reduced sentence for Julie Chrisley, according to the Associated Press. Meanwhile, U.S. attorneys argued Julie Chrisley was a core part of the fraud scheme. The judge reportedly explained her 2022 ruling was already a reduced sentence for Chrisley's crimes and less than what prosecutors had requested for the former reality star, per Ross' amended forfeiture order filed September 25, which was reviewed by USA Today. Todd Chrisley was found to have received a total of $17,270,741.57 in proceeds as a result of committing the offense of conviction, and was ordered to forfeit that amount to the government. Before Julie and Todd Chrisley became residents of federal prisons in Kentucky and Florida, the pair were best known for their reality show, Chrisley Knows Best. In the USA Network docuseries, the couple portrayed themselves as real estate tycoons, and viewers got a peek into their lavish lifestyle in the suburbs of Atlanta and Nashville. The show drew in more than 2 million viewers by its 8th season. Todd Chrisley has 2 children with his first wife, high school sweetheart Teresa Terry, and 3 children with his second wife, Julie. On the show, Todd Chrisley doesn't shy away from sex talk, even giving the sex talk to his kids on national TV. In 2017, Todd Chrisley made headlines after he called his 72-year-old mom out on TV for sexting, and he's addressed speculation that he's gay. Julie Chrisley's return to federal custody was swift. Like a shadow creeping over her once bright world, it had only been weeks since her resentencing, and the reality of it all felt like a slow, tightening noose. The headlines had buzzed briefly with the news, then faded into the background as the world moved on to its next spectacle. But for Julie, the ticking of time had become more deliberate, each second now tethered to the bleak monotony of her new life. She had once lived a life of luxury, a picture-perfect reality TV family with sprawling estates, designer wardrobes, and the kind of charmed existence that seemed untouchable. But the world she built, brick by glittering brick, crumbled spectacularly when she and her husband Todd were convicted on federal charges of bank fraud and tax evasion. The facade was torn down, revealing not the polished marble foundation they had projected to millions of viewers, but a shaky structure teetering on deception. After her first stint in prison, Julie had clung to the hope that her resentencing would grant her a chance, a brief reprieve, a slim window of mercy. Maybe, just maybe, the court would see the mother who adored her children, the woman who was dedicated to her family, and grant her leniency. But the world, especially the cold, unfeeling world of the judicial system, rarely worked that way. When the sentence came down, it was a blow. The judge's words were a distant echo, but the weight of them pressed heavily on her chest. The months ahead seemed endless, and when the inevitable happened, her transfer back to the Federal Bureau of Prisons custody, it felt like the air itself had thickened. Julie had never been one to let her emotions show. On television, she was often the steady, calming force, the picture of Southern grace and charm. But in the sterile, windowless waiting rooms of the prison intake, all of that felt stripped away. There were no cameras here, no production teams to edit out her vulnerability, no Todd to exchange quips with, no adoring fans to reassure her with their unwavering loyalty. Just Julie, staring into the fluorescent-lit void, the hum of the institutional clock ticking above her head.